Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. Thanks for your time. We're going to talk today a little bit about the coronavirus. There's a lot to understand about it, and a lot of information that is dispersed to the public inside of the monopolized medical market. Now remember, we haven't had a free medical marketplace since 1912. For 108 years, the medical marketplace has been completely dominated by the pharmaceutical industry and the American Medical Association in the United States. And inside of a monopoly, which is self-policing and self-regulating, all kinds of funny business can happen, and information which is disseminated to the public is perhaps half-truths or third-truths or simply just not true. And it's important that we have a working understanding of what's going on here. There's chatter on the World Wide Web that the coronavirus, which is currently a problem, was actually a bioweapon which was stolen from a laboratory in Canada and brought to China. For more information about that, you can go to greatgameindia.com, greatgameindia.com. It's an interesting website. The seafood market, where the first outbreak, or supposedly the first outbreak of the coronavirus was, or this particular strain of coronavirus. Remember a couple of years ago there was a SARS epidemic? The SARS epidemic was caused by a coronavirus also. And a coronavirus is like cats. There are many different types of cats, right? Well, there are many different types of coronaviruses. It's called a coronavirus because of the way that it looks under an electron microscope. In any event, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which is where it's a place where they weaponize things, was 20 miles away from the Hunan seafood market. And because China is so, locked down with its information, and it's a horrible country, for goodness sakes, it's hard to really know what the truth of the matter is. However, if it looks like a duck and flies like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So I'm putting my money on the fact that this was probably weaponized to some degree, similar to what happened with Lyme disease. Now, when we're talking about viruses and their effect on the human body, we have to talk about the immune system. Everybody is familiar with the immune system, right? Everybody knows the immune system as the police department of the human body. And the immune system is an incredibly complex system, one of the most complex systems in the human body. And I'm making these numbers up, but I would guess that currently, as of January 2020, we know 20-25% of what the immune system is and how it works. It is an extremely complex system. There are some basics about it that are interesting to know and to understand. So I'd like to get into that a little bit here because it's important that we have a working perspective on what's going on. So, when the human body is invaded by a microorganism, a virus or a bacteria, the immune system creates an antibody against it in order to help the immune system get rid of it. And the antibody is specific to that foreign invader. So an antibody against an influenza virus is not going to work against a coronavirus or a rhinovirus or any other type of virus. And remember, different types of coronaviruses will all require different antibodies. And when these viruses specifically enter the human body, the immune system manufactures an antibody specific to that foreign invader. When pharmaceutical companies make vaccines against viruses, they will make a vaccine against a particular strain of a virus, and then, of course, they have to produce it, and then they have to distribute it, and then it has to get into the host body somehow. And between the time that it's made in the lab and injected into a human being, the virus itself has mutated. So this is why, as far as immune response goes and effective resistance against viral attacks goes, It's much better to have naturally acquired antibody against a viral infection than an injected vaccine antibody against a viral infection. And if you drill down the numbers and look at the published data on the effectiveness of vaccines for viral infections, you will be dissatisfied with the results. Most of the information that's being given to people about the effectiveness of vaccinations against viral infections is party line information. It's half-truths or third truths. And really, vaccines for viral infections are not the best way to go about helping the immune system of the human body to defend itself against a viral infection. All right? All right. So, right, it's all about warfare inside the human body. And the best way to protect yourself against a viral infection, which this particular coronavirus it's a virus, is to upregulate and strengthen the human body itself rather than wait for the scientific community to produce a vaccine. Okay? Okay. Now, when we are talking about strengthening the immune system of the body, there are some fundamental steps that we can't overlook. And that's what we're going to talk about now. So the immune system of the body, interestingly enough, is made from protein. That's what it's made from, right? Your bones are made from minerals and collagen. Your immune system is made from protein. So if we are attempting to strengthen the immune system of the human body, then it would be prudent to eat a diet that's high in protein and low in sugar. Why low in sugar? Because too much sugar at any moment in time, if there is too much sugar floating through your bloodstream, there's a component of the immune system called a macrophage. And the macrophage is like the SWAT team, right? So there's a foreign invader, there's a virus in the body, the immune system makes an antibody to that virus. The antibody floats through the bloodstream, and somehow, we don't know what this mechanism is. Nobody knows what this mechanism is. Somehow the antibody recognizes the viral invader, sticks to the outside of the virus, and once it sticks to the outside of the virus, an immune cascade happens. It's kind of like a cop driving down the street in a patrol car. He sees an escaped convict. He calls it in, and the SWAT team comes and shows up and gets him. Kind of like that. So a macrophage, in this metaphor, would be part of the SWAT team. But when there's too much sugar in the bloodstream, the macrophage goes to sleep, more or less. The response time between the call from the patrol car to the SWAT team and the arrival of the SWAT team at the scene is delayed and slowed down. It's called macrophage response time. And it is subdued, cut down by too much sugar. This is one of the reasons why we don't recommend a diet that's high in sugar. Now, remember, sugar is the gasoline of the body. We couldn't blink an eyelash without sugar. Your DNA is made from sugar, so when we're talking about sugar, it's all about the quantity and the type of sugar. So, if you are attempting to upregulate your immune system, which might not be a bad idea now, you want to cut down on extracurricular sugar. So don't have the ice cream for dessert. Don't have dessert, right? Stop snacking on candy bars. Put honey in your coffee instead of sugar, etc., etc., etc. I don't even like the sugar that's in orange juice. Or concentrated fruit juices during cold and flu season, or when there's a potential viral outbreak. Okay? So upregulate protein. For women, the recommendation is adult women, 50 grams of protein a day. For adult men, 60 grams of protein a day. That should be a good target for you. So, right, increase protein, decrease sugar, pretty straightforward. And oh, by the way, I don't care if it's plant protein or animal protein. Doesn't matter as long as you hit the number. Now, this is perhaps the most important thing that you can do for your immune system, and conventional medical doctors are in the dark about this information. Your MD may be the nicest person God ever created, but your medical doctor has no knowledge, no training, no respect, and quite frankly, no appreciation, no experience with applied medical nutrition. So the information that I'm giving you here is unknown to them, and this is a problem. Doubly so because it's a monopolized medical marketplace, and the only medicine that your insurance pays for is MD-directed medicine. And the MDs don't know what I'm about to tell you, and, well, more's the pity. So in order for your body to work the way that God and nature intended it to, it needs to be topped off every day with 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids for a grand total of 90. This combination is collectively referred to as 90 for life. 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs in order to work the way that God and nature intended it to. And yes, I said God. Because the proper understanding of the human body is that it is, the human body is inhabited by an intelligent spiritual force. And it is the intelligence of the spiritual force inside the human body which orchestrates all of the biochemical happenings inside the human body. Your MD is trained to believe that there's no such thing as God, there's no such thing as the spirit. All of these things are metaphysical folly, and they don't exist. And that basically the human body is a bag of biochemicals waiting to break. An evolutionary fiat, which of course is childish and inconsistent with the reality of the situation, and this is one of the reasons why conventional medical therapeutics fail us so dramatically. The leading cause of death in the United States and the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States are MD-directed medical therapeutics, and this is mostly because of this reason. That your medical doctor does not believe in anything that can't be measured. So since the soul has never been dissected out of the human body or seen with an MRI or a CT, it doesn't exist. Your medical doctor is trained to believe that consciousness itself is a function of biochemistry. There's no such thing as life after death or God, or it's all a fiction. And when the human body dies, consciousness dies also. It's lights out, game over. And this is how they think. And their therapeutics are all molded around this false belief. But nonetheless, holistic schools of medical thought all around the world, naturopathic medicine, homeopathic medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, etc., 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 all believe that the human body is imbued with divine intelligence, spiritual intelligence. And it is the job of the holistic physician to develop and deliver therapeutics which support and promote the body's built-in ability to fix itself, maintain itself. Now, this is one of the most fundamentally important notions that you need to understand. In order for your body to work, in order for your immune system to be strong and work the way that nature and God intended it, it needs to be nutrified every day, regularly. However, the 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs to optimize its structure and function are not all present in the food. Some of them are, but many of them are not. So unless you're actively supplementing, your body is at a deficiency, is at a deficit. And then we experience the stress of life. The stress of life burns through what few nutrients we do have. And when the nutrient levels start to reach a certain amount of lowness, things start to break, and this is collectively referred to as the disease process. Your medical doctor would have you believe that disease is caused by a genetic breakdown, and this is not true. If genetics is involved at all, it's an epigenetic phenomenon. Epigenetics is the stress on your genes, environmental stress and nutritive stress. So when your body runs out of essential nutrients, your genes can't work the way that nature and God intended them to, and this fact is completely lost on your medical doctor, and this is a problem. So what do we do here? I mean, if you're a logical human being, it's pretty straightforward what's necessary. Well, in order to optimize the body's structure and function, probably a good idea to fill up this nutritional tank, right? Probably a good idea to do that, and that's exactly what we recommend. Give your body the raw materials that it needs in order to optimize its structure and function on a regular basis, and this is the best way to do it. This product, sold by Eiffel Health, it's called the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0. This provides your body's essential nutrient needs. There's ways that we can tweak this in order to make it more effective for your immune system, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. And this really is common sense. So what do? We fill up the body's nutritional tank, number one, give it the raw materials it needs, in recipes and dosages, recipes that your body can absorb, and dosages which are appropriate for your weight. A 75-pound human being is going to need considerably less than a 300-pound human being, right? So we dose these nutrients depending upon your body's weight. And as far as I know, we're the only ones that do that, and this is a really important distinction. So, right, we fill the body's nutritional tank up with the right stuff in the right amounts, and then we stop eating food that's coming up the works. Now, we talked about how the body needs protein in order to have a strong and healthy immune system, and how too much sugar will have negative effects on the immune system. Well, as it turns out, there are 12 foods in total which we have discovered as having net negative effects on the human body just overall. And the list of these 12 bad foods can be found for free on my website, glidden.healthcare, which you can see right below me here in the logo, glidden.healthcare. Navigate to the free content section on my website, and you can download the list of the 12 bad foods and watch a free 45-minute video which explains why these foods are bad. And really, this is common sense. If you put diesel fuel into an unleaded engine, and the engine needed 6 quarts of oil, it's only got 1. It needed 2 gallons of radiator fluid, it's only got 1 quart. It needs a pint of steering wheel fluid, it only has 1 ounce. It needs 30 pounds of air in the tires, it only has 15. Car's probably not going to run that good, right? Well, as it turns out, the human body is not that different. We need to stop putting fuel into the body, which is hurting the body, and we need to fill the body's nutritional tank up on a regular basis. And these are the fundamentally important things to do if we are going to attempt to have a strong and healthy immune system. These are the foundation. This is the foundation that needs to happen for a healthy immune system. Right? Now, once we have acquired that foundation, during moments of epidemics, times of epidemics, which this might be, the coronavirus, there are things that we can do for the short term which will upregulate and strengthen the immune system. You know, kind of like when there's, riots in the streets or impending riots, the police force, there's more cops, right? More cops downtown, more cops on the beat, more cops there in order to deal with the situation. Well, it's the same thing here. So once we've done the foundation with the 90 essential nutrients and the dietary discretion, then for the short term, we can add stuff on. And of all the things that we can add on for help against a viral insult, my all-time favorite is the Good Herbs Super Olive Health. The Super Olive Health. There's other things I'm going to show you here in a second, but my first choice is the Good Herbs Super Olive Health, and if you would like to, just do a Google search for olive leaf extract and the published research about how it has been proven to upregulate the immune system, and especially to help the immune system deal with viral insults. Remember, it's much better to help the natural immunity of the body handle this than wait for a scientist somewhere to come up with a vaccine that's probably going to be ineffective 2 days after it's delivered. So, good herbs, super olive health. And by the way, right, all wine is made from grapes, but there's a pretty big difference from bottle to bottle, right? Depending on all these variables. Well, it's chicken soup, it's the same way. The recipe makes the difference. The ingredients make the difference. All of these variables and again, in 30 years of clinical work as a licensed naturopathic doctor, the Good Herbs Company generates the most effective botanical medicine supplements I've ever seen, which are available over the counter. There's only one other company that does as good a job as Good Herbs does, but they only sell to physicians. They're located in Arizona, but they only sell to physicians. Good Herbs, you can get them over the counter. I won't get into the details of why the Good Herbs products are so good. I've done that in other presentations, but the steps that the Good Herbs Company has from the locating and then the harvesting of the herb and then the preparation process and the manufacture of the herb are, nobody does it like Good Herbs people does it. And because of their attention to these details, their botanical medicine products are extremely effective. Other things that you can do, some people just don't like liquids, and the Good Herbs products have 200 proof alcohol in them, which is one of the reasons why they're so effective. Some people don't like that. I think you should just get over it if you have a problem with that. But nonetheless, some people do have a problem with it, so a fallback would be the Longevity's Killer Biotic and or another Good Herbs product, the antimicrobial support. But hands down, in order to upregulate the immune system in the face of a viral stress, my money is on the Good Herbs Super Olive Health. So you're going to want to take a screenshot of this. These are my recommendations. This is what I would have you do by way of prevention, right? Eliminate the 12 bad foods. Eat 50 grams of protein a day if you're a woman, 60 grams if you're a man. Use salt on your food so that it tastes good. Salt helps your stomach to digest food. There's no relationship between salt consumption and high blood pressure. That was proven way back in the 50s. And, of course, eliminate all 12 bad foods. Now, go to EiffelHealth.com and or give them a call. And here's what I'd like you to purchase per month. One bottle, and this is if you're between 100 and 200 pounds. Well, between 100 and 250 pounds. One bottle of Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, 2 bottles of Prohoba Omega, 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals, and 2 bottles of Super Olive Health. And that's how to take it. Preventively, to strengthen and upregulate your immune system. Okay? All right. Now, heaven forbid you become infected either with the coronavirus or with any other type of viral or bacterial infection, which is targeting your lungs. If you come down with a lung condition, which is caused by a bacterial or a viral infection, in order to help your lungs deal with that, we need to up the ante. So there's a product that you can get online. This is not an Eiffel Health product. It's called Argentin 23. Just do a Google search. It's one of the most effective, definitely most researched colloidal silvers in the world today. You don't have to worry. No, you're not going to turn blue. That's been proven with this product, by the way. In any event, you get a bottle of Argentin 23 colloidal silver, go to Walgreens or CVS and get a nebulizer. A nebulizer turns liquids into steam, into a gas. And so 1 teaspoon 5 times a day of the Argentin 23 in a nebulizer, breathe it in. Takes about 10 minutes to get a teaspoon down, I think, more or less. You can either use a face mask or they have a little breathing tube you put into your mouth. The idea is to get the vaporized colloidal silver, saturate your lungs with it. Fantastic at upregulating the immune system for a respiratory infection. And then we need to up the ante with the two of the other products which were previously recommended. The Super Olive Health, we go from 2 milliliters 3 times a day to 4 milliliters 3 times a day, or 4 milliliters 4 times a day. You could also do that. And we also increase the Prohoba Omegas. We do 4 caps 3 times a day instead of 4 caps 2 times a day. And that's basically it. I mean, that's the long and the short of it. That is how we deal with it. Those are my recommendations in any event. Remember, I've been doing this for over 30 years. And that's a long time. Naturopathic medical therapeutics are not a panacea cure-all for all human ills, but it is an extremely safe and effective way to deal with these things and to upregulate your body's built-in God-given ability to fix itself, because remember, this is our thesis here. The human body knows how to fix itself. The human body wants to fix itself. The human body's trying to fix itself all of the time. And therefore, it becomes the holistic physician's job to develop and deliver therapeutics which do that. And in my 3+ decades of clinical experience, the steps that I've outlined in this video are a really sound and prudent way to strengthen and support your immune system in the face of a viral infection. Okay? All right. Thanks for your time and your trust. God willing, and the creek don't rise. I will see you next time. You know who I am, Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. Live long and prosper.